Hello, friends, and thank you for tuning in to our broadcast today. In a few moments, we're going to take you into a live session where Bishop Wayne was teaching a message designed to feed your faith and to elevate your understanding. We invite you to join in as if you were here in person and to light up the chat box with your comments and confirmations. This hour of power is your time to recharge, to renew, and even to reset your mind for a life of purpose, passion, and power. At the end of this message, we have an important announcement for you. So do stay tuned. But now let's go into the hour of power with Bishop Wayne Malcolm.
So tonight we're going to deal with an interesting subject, the grace for your space, the grace for your space. And I literally could spend 2 months exploring this particular subject because it is loaded with lessons, it's packed with principles, and it holds a lot of meaning for me. I have no doubt the title holds meaning for all of us because I guess at times we have all felt as though we need more grace for the spaces that we occupy. Some of us are involved in industries that are relatively dark. Some of us work in a toxic environment. Certainly, because of uncertainty in the economy, workplaces are becoming more shark infested. Competition is high. A lot of people competing for the same post, the same opportunity, the same roles. Lots of markets are saturated, and many are resorting to underhanded means in order to get ahead. And so I think we're being confronted on a daily basis with some form of toxicity in the workplace, unless, of course, you are privileged to be the CEO and to create an ideal work environment. But sometimes even when we are CEOs, there is a struggle to create a working environment that really works for us. So the grace for your space concept is very broad and has to do with surviving toxicity in the marketplace. However, I'm going to put a particular twist on it tonight, and I'm going to talk about how to survive your own success. How to survive your own success. And remember, my overarching objective is that we set our destiny in motion, that we create momentum and begin moving in the direction of our dreams, our God dreams, and our prophetic destinies. So that's a little bit of an introduction. And let's pray right now. Let me just pray with us. Glory to God. So, Father, in the glorious name of your Son, our Savior, Jesus, we're so grateful for another opportunity to connect, to share, to learn, and to grow, to become all that you designed us to be, and to manifest destinies of greatness, to have an impact in the world, to become centers of influence within circles of influence. And Lord, we are inviting your presence, your power, your grace into this very space in Jesus Christ's wonderful name. And all the people said amen, with your mics muted. All right, so what we're going to look at tonight is we're going to start off with a context, which is, why this lesson. We're then going to look at what I call the success assumption, moving from if to when, and I guess tonight, this is probably my great objective. And it is to create momentum, to set destiny in motion. But the first expression of that is a psychological shift, and it's moving from if to when. And then we're going to look at success routines. We'll look at emotional insulation, how to insulate your emotions. And then we'll look at how to save your energy by identifying the real enemy. And so this should be an exciting session. If you're already excited about it, I want you to utilize the chat box, write in the chat box. Let's make noise in the chat box. And of course, I won't see what you write, but I'll see that you are writing. So please do keep me encouraged by commenting, resonating in the chat box. So let's look at this context. So here goes. The Bible is a book of secrets. It really is a book of secrets. And it's a book of secret strategies for winning in life and business. These secrets are called mysteries. So this is a way of looking at the Bible. And of course, in Bible schools, we explore the scriptures through a theological lens. A theological lens. Theological means that we're trying to learn things about God. Trying to learn about God, more about God, about his heart, about his nature, about his plan, about his works. And so we look at the Bible with the, through a theological lens. But I guess the Bible is so profound and it is so packed with divine wisdom that it has implications and applications to every facet of human life. And what it contains is secret strategies. Now, the secret strategies may be concealed in a story, so that you read a story about a patriarch, a story about a prophet, a story about a good person, a story about a bad person. But when you decode the story, there's embedded in it a secret strategy for winning in life and in business. And so these are called mysteries. And I pretty much years ago came into this understanding. I felt like God challenged me to read the Bible through economic lenses and to begin to consider the economic implications of all of the promises and interventions of God in the scriptures. And when I did that, I began to realize that the Bible was not just a book of theology. It was a book of psychology. It was a book of sociology. It was a book of economics. It was all encompassing when it comes to the human experience. And so what I began to see is that there are strategies for winning in life and in business contained in the stories of the Bible. Right in Genesis chapter 1, the story of the creation is absolutely loaded with lessons, packed with principles that have implication and application to every facet of the human experience. So these mysteries are in the scriptures. Now, perhaps the greatest mystery is the mystery of faith. The mystery of faith. Because faith makes substantial the things we hope for. So I'm hoping for something in the future, but while I'm waiting, faith makes that thing substantial, makes it real, gives substance to the thing that I'm hoping for. And faith proves the existence, proves, at least to me, who has faith. When a person has faith, they literally have within themselves proof of the existence of something they have not yet seen. And that's the meaning of Hebrews 11, verse 1, where faith is defined. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. What it means is that faith makes your future substantial, and it proves, at least to you, the existence of things you have not yet seen. So that when faith is present, you will act as though the things you hope for are real. They're real and imminent. Okay. When faith is present, you will act. Okay. And when I say act, I'm talking about physical actions. I'm talking about psychological actions. I'm also talking about linguistic actions. So you will act, you will think, you will behave, you will speak as though the things you hope for are real and imminent, literally about to appear. This heightened state of expectation and preparation then attracts those things into your life. This is one of the mysteries of faith. So that, when Jesus taught on faith, He didn't particularly teach it as a Christian privilege. He didn't make it exclusive to Christians. Actually, at the time he was teaching on faith, there weren't any Christians in the world, because to become a Christian, you have to be born again by faith in the finished work of Christ on the cross. Now, he hadn't been to the cross as yet, and so he was very much operating under the law of Moses, and very much speaking in that context. But he doesn't make it exclusive to Christians. He literally says, whosoever will say to this mountain, be removed. Whosoever. So this whosoever means that faith is a universal principle. It's a universal principle, and it works for people that work it, so that whatever the religious persuasion, whatever a person's religious convictions, once they have faith, and God has really given to every man a measure of faith, once they have faith, they can experience this heightened state of expectation. It's a heightened state of expectation because to you, the thing you're hoping for that you've not yet seen is real, it's imminent, it's going to happen. And when you're in that heightened state, then you begin attracting those things into your life. And yes, you become a magnet for those things, but in a very real sense, your senses are sharpened to notice the opportunity that will deliver that outcome for you. So, what a lot of people call the law of attraction, I call the law of recognition, because what really happens is when you're in a heightened state of expectation, what really happens is you begin to notice things that you would otherwise walk by. And you notice those things because you have told your brain to look for them, because you're in a heightened state of expectation. So if you're expecting, a parcel to be delivered to you, you're in a heightened state of expectation, and you will notice the doorbell ringing. Because no matter what you're doing, you're going to always be listening for that doorbell ringing. So this is one of the mysteries of the scripture. It's the mystery of faith. And if I sound quite biblical tonight, let me just say to our newcomers that, we do offer a professional coaching and training service. And most times we're looking at soft skills that are, that the session could be taught to all of your friends at work, Christian, Muslim, Jew, atheist, and they derive tremendous benefit and value from it. But I need to set this one up within its biblical context. So I'm going to set this one up, okay? So that's the context. Now, when you understand the mystery of faith, then we can begin looking at what I call success assumptions. Success assumptions, assuming your own success. And when a person assumes that their success is inevitable, they are no longer in the land of if, they are in the land of when. Okay? Success is no longer if, it's when. And this is the very first movement that we want to initiate as we go into a new year, is this movement from if to when. And if we're honest with ourselves, a lot of our dreams, a lot of our plans, a lot of our goals still have an if attached to them. And if is doubt language. If is evidence of doubt, uncertainty. And so there has to be a shift from if to when, so that you are holding in yourself a success assumption, so that you're in a heightened state of expectation and you begin making preparations. Okay. So when a woman is pregnant, what do we say? We say she is expecting, right? She is what? Expecting. And And in the initial stages of that pregnancy, she is the only person who has the evidence in herself that she is carrying a child. She's the only person who really knows that. She has to break that news to her husband. She has to break that news to others. But she knows within herself. She has the evidences within herself. And so we say she is expecting. Well, this is where God wants to move us to right now. He wants to move us to a place where we are pregnant with our own prophetic destinies to the degree that we know within ourselves that this thing will come to pass, and we are literally expecting. Okay? Now, I want to make this clear before I dive into this, that success is achieving your goals without violating your values. That's my simple definition for success, which makes success relative to your goals. It means that my success is not your success. Your success is not my success. Success is really succeeding at something you are attempting. And so because we're not all attempting the same thing, we are not all going to have the same version of success. So let's get out of the idea that success is status symbols and and a particular income level, etc. Because success is about achieving your goals without violating your values. It is succeeding at something that you are attempting to do. And because we are each attempting to do different things, we will each have our own version of success. However, what we want to do is we want to move to the place of an assumption where success is assumed. Success is assumed. And when I say assumed, I mean it's inevitable. It's going to happen, and it's now when. It's not if, it's when. And this is what I call the Deuteronomy revelation. The Deuteronomy revelation. So I guess many of you are familiar with the book in the Bible, the fifth book of the Bible called Deuteronomy. Okay? The fifth book of the Bible called Deuteronomy. So Deuteronomy is a collection of the sermons that Moses preached to the children of Israel when they were encamped on the brink of the promised land. So it literally says where they were. It would say they were on this side of the Jordan, meaning that all that stood between them and the promised land was a river. And so this means they were on the brink of a breakthrough. They were on the verge of victory. This is a collection of sermons that Moses is preaching to people who are on the brink of a breakthrough and on the verge of victory. I wonder if there's anyone here that's on the brink of a breakthrough and on the verge of victory. And you already feel it in yourself. You know it in yourself. It is not if, it's when, because you are now at the brink of your breakthrough. You're on the verge of your victory. So in this collection of sermons, there are some common themes in Deuteronomy. And you can read this for yourself, but here are the common themes. Moses consistently says to them, when you come into the land, when you've overcome your enemies, when you have possessed houses that you didn't build, vineyards that you didn't plant, wells that you didn't dig, when. He's constantly saying when. That's the first major theme. is that he's speaking to people on the brink of a breakthrough, and he is speaking when language into them. He's not speaking if. He's not saying, now, if we make it across this Jordan and we get into the promised land, and if God is kind to us and we get a lucky break. If, no, there's no if language. It's when. And when, as a language pattern, stimulates your imagination to begin imagining in full color and in 3D what success is going to look and feel and sound like. Because when you're bombarded with when sermons, then you are focused on a bright future. You're not doubtful about the future. So that's the first major theme, is when. The second major theme in Deuteronomy is that Moses begins to set priorities and deliver some laws that's going to help them to sustain or to survive their own success. To sustain or survive their own success. So there's the when success assumption, and then there's when you come in, he would say, do not forget the Lord your God. He gave you the power to get wealth. He would say, when the Lord has driven out your enemies from before you, don't become proud in your heart. Don't begin to say that you did this by yourself. Remember the Lord your God. He would say, don't make covenants with the people in the land, because the Lord is spewing them out of the land. And so he's really psychologically repositioning them into the future and getting them to predetermine now how they're going to behave when they realize their success. Predetermining how you're going to behave in your next dimension. Woo. Predetermining how you're going to live on your next level. And this is the Deuteronomy revelation. And this is where so many believers fail, is that we haven't clearly predetermined how we're going to live on the next level. We haven't clearly predetermined how we're going to behave in abundance, so that when the next level comes, when abundance happens, we're lost and confused. And if we're not careful, we lose ourselves, and success becomes our demise rather than the doorway to our destiny. Wow and wow. I think that's deep, and I think that's worthy of a little chat box moment. So I want you to notice in this Deuteronomy revelation that on the first side, there's expectation. That's the when. That's the when piece. It's anticipating success, assuming success, and using success language. It's speaking about your win as though it's imminent, it's unstoppable, it's going to happen. And if God has called you to the marketplace to create wealth, then your Deuteronomy revelation is going to involve you absolutely knowing to the point that it's assumed, it's anticipated that you are going to become very wealthy. You're going to command vast sums. And when you know that, you're now expecting, that's the when piece in the Deuteronomy revelation, but the preparation piece is you predetermining how you're going to live on that next level. What are the rules governing the next level? How are you going to behave in your abundance? And it's about predetermining that and cutting that covenant with God now. Okay? And saying to God, now, I know I'm going to be very wealthy. But in that level of life and living, here are the rules. And here's the law. And, you know, the word Deuteronomy actually means a second law. And it's that law of those laws of abundance. So in the preparation, you're going to start making room for your success. You're going to set a budget. Okay. You're going to set a budget. We're going to go into this in a moment, but but if you're going to become very wealthy, well, what are you going to spend it on? What exactly are you going to spend the money on? Some people are not clear about that, which means that that their expectation is really rhetoric and has not yet become real to them. Once it becomes real to you, you start figuring out how you're going to spend it. And you start setting priorities. That's what a mother does. She knows she's expecting. She starts making room. She starts budgeting. She starts setting priorities. She starts changing things. So this is the Deuteronomy revelation. And if you already have the Deuteronomy revelation, I want you to say so in the chat box. If you want the Deuteronomy revelation, say, I want it. I want to move from if to when. I want the success assumption. So let me show you this in the Bible a little bit more. The Deuteronomy principle we've just been through, the Daniel strategy. So listen to this. Daniel was chosen for promotion, and therefore he had the success assumption. His expectation led to preparation in the form of rules and priorities. He purposed in his heart not to defile himself with the king's meat. So when you read the opening chapters of Daniel, you'll see that Daniel was chosen for a promotion and for a place of privilege and power. He was selected for the role. And he went through a period of preparation, which was the evidence of his expectation. See, if you really do have the revelation of your when, okay, if you have a revelation that it's no longer if, it's when, then guess what? The evidence of your revelation is your expectation. And the evidence of your expectation is your preparation. So if you're not preparing, it's because you're not expecting. If you're not expecting, it's because you don't really have a revelation. And we use the analogy of the of a mother, right? But I could use any analogy in life. I could talk about marriage. So there are people who are saying, you know, God's going to bless me with a husband. God's going to bless me with a wife. But the proof of your revelation is your expectation. The evidence of the expectation is your preparation. So if you're not making preparations for the things you say you're expecting, it's because you are still in the if and not in the when. Okay. I could take it to the personal development issue and say that people who are saying, you know, I'm going to get a promotion, I'm going to the next level in my business, in my work. Well, the talk is cheap. The evidence of your revelation, the proof of your revelation is your expectation. But the evidence of your expectation is your preparation. So if you're not preparing for that next level, it is evidence that you're not truly expecting it. If you're not truly expecting it, you don't really have a revelation of God's intention for you. So we make preparations for the things we're expecting, and we see that in Daniel. Finally, the temptations of Christ. You'll know that before Jesus became popular, he was tested in 3 ways. And in each of those tests, he was setting priorities and establishing rules. And he did it before he became popular, because the worst time to try to set those priorities or to establish those rules is when you are popular. So Jesus had already predetermined how he was going to use his popularity. He was not going to use his power to turn stone into bread. He was not going to pull a stunt and jump off the pinnacle of the temple so the angels could catch him and everyone cheering. He was not going to bow down and worship the devil in order to get the kingdoms of the world. He dealt with those issues before he became popular. And so if you know that it's in your destiny to become popular, then there are issues you must deal with before you become popular. Not once you're popular, but before you're popular. Not once you're rich, but before you're rich. Not once you have global presence, but before you have global presence. You have to do it at the genesis, in the beginning, before. And I've given 3 biblical examples of that. So let's get a bit more practical. How would you spend £1 million? So it's really too small today. I should have said 5 million, right? But years ago, when I used to do this exercise in seminars, I'd ask someone to come up and write on the board what they would spend £1 million on. And one of the things that we discovered was that 9 out of 10 people would have lost the £1 million within the space of 1 year, because they would have bought liabilities. They didn't have the financial sophistication or education or literacy to make the money make more money and to keep the million and never lose it whilst making more money. They just never had that education. So they were going to go out and buy this, we're going to buy that, we're going to buy the other. And I've given an example here in the circle. This is just like an example, right? That's you might do. You might say, you know what, I'm going to spend 20% of it on a house or on my living. I'm going to spend 20% on cars and accessories. And I'm sure there's none of you planning to spend £200,000 on cars and accessories, but it would surprise you to know how many people have made $1 million and spent half of it on cars and accessories, right? Family and friends got to cut a check for this one and for that one, and then there's my church and the charities, and then maybe 20% for investments and long-term security. All this maybe tells me you're not expecting to have $1 million liquid. You're not expecting this. Because if you're expecting it, you're going to sit down, you're going to actually make a preparation and a plan. You're going to decide before you get there how you're going to behave in that abundance, how you're going to live on that next level. So onto the left-hand side again, how will you use your freedoms? Okay, so it's not just really about money. It's about how you're going to use your freedoms. And that includes your financial freedom, your time freedom, your freedom of mobility, and your freedom of expression. This principle requires that you predetermine your use of power before the power arrives. Do not ask God for power until you have clarity of purpose. Really, really cool, really, really exciting, and really, really important. That with your Deuteronomy revelation, you have expectation and preparation. Let me read this one to you. Therefore, I say unto you, what things soever you desire when you pray, believe that you receive them and you shall have them. Wow. So that's Jesus saying the exact same thing. When you desire something and you're praying into it, you must make the shift from if to when. You must believe that you have it, that God has answered the prayer. And so that you can begin thinking, acting, and speaking accordingly. And this is a critical piece to surviving your own success. And why so many people don't survive success is that they haven't done the groundwork, the homework, the preparation, the predetermining. They have not predetermined, how will I use my influence? You know, you're going to have the ears of many But what will they hear? What will your voice represent? How will I spend my money? Success brings access to resources, including money. How exactly will you spend it? To make a list of all the things you will buy with your money or do with your money. How will I keep my cover? Oh my gosh, how will I keep my covering? Woo! How will I keep my covering? Esther kept her relationship with Mordecai, even though she became more powerful than him. Now, that's a big problem in the church world today, isn't it? You know, folks get a bit of power and no one can talk to you. You get a bit of power, you're not accountable to anyone. You look down on everyone that you're richer than. You look down on everyone that you're more influential than. You look down on people. That's an evidence of pride. And that's why many people do not survive their success. The pride goes before destruction, that haughty spirit before the fall, because you don't understand that being richer than your covering, more famous than your covering, more influential than your covering doesn't make you unaccountable and doesn't make you give you a right to operate without a Mordecai character in your life who can challenge you, who can counsel you, who can correct you, who can inspect you. It's important to keep the covering. So it's about, how am I going to keep the covering? How will you keep God at the center and remain accountable to spiritual coaching? How are you going to do that? It's not about all of a sudden you've broken into your new dimension and now you're going to figure it all out. That's a fast track to a swift demise. So far so good. I see you all writing in the chat box. Sounds like someone's getting a revelation. Because the revelation, what I call the Deuteronomy revelation, is really a revelation of your destiny. Your destiny is your destination, your final destination. Your destiny is the outcomes of your life. Your destiny is the statement that your life makes, the impact that your life makes. It's where you're going. Okay, it's where you're going, and a revelation of your destiny is what heightens the expectation and starts the preparation. And when you're in preparation mode, okay, then the preparation becomes acceleration for the manifestation of the thing. And I know I'm using a lot of shuns, right? But they're important. The expectation leads to preparation. The preparation creates acceleration of the manifestation of that thing. So there are 4 things that you need to do with your revelation, or 4 things you need to do with your rhetoric even. Because sometimes, you know, I've asked people to do this who weren't deeply convicted of their success, but they became convicted after doing this. So this is something we all need to do going into a new year, going into an epic year, going into a defining year, going into a critical year on a global level, on so many levels. 2022 is presenting itself already to be a defining year. So number 1, define. Okay, what does success look like for you? Define your win. Define your success. Define it on a personal and professional level. Include what, where, when, with whom, and for whom your success is. Write your prophetic CV and your prophetic bio. What do I mean? What's a CV? The CV is your list of accomplishments. Jump into the future and write in retrospect a prophetic CV. to say, I've done this, I have achieved that, I am educated to this standard, I have impacted these people, I speak in these arenas, I've written X amount of books. It's prophetic in that it hasn't physically happened yet. But when you know it's your destiny, you can begin to define your win and write a prophetic CV and write a prophetic bio, because your current bio is not going to be your future bio, because God is adding to your bio all the time. Your future bio is going to be big, grand, great, and, phenomenal. Define your win, define your success. Number two, decide your success. Convert these dreams into goals and plans. Okay? Convert them into goals and plans. Decide to pursue your vision. Choose an appropriate vehicle and accelerate along the pathway of purpose. So it's one thing to define the future that you're dreaming about. It's another thing to decide that I'm actually going to pursue this, that these are my goals, these are my plans, and I'm choosing a vehicle, an appropriate vehicle. And this is where it gets sticky, because once you define your win and your success, you may suddenly realize that minimal wage 9-to-5 job that's keeping a roof over your head is not a suitable vehicle for your grandiose vision, and that you're going to need to begin to identify a better vehicle for your vision. Woo! Number three, develop a plan and path towards your goals. Include stages and phases, milestones and measurements, risk, resources, and rewards. That's really a plan. It's called project management. Convert your dream into a project so that you've got timelines, you've got stages, you've got phases, you've got milestones. You're able to measure your progress. You anticipate risk, you mitigate risk, and you anticipate the resources you're going to need, and you factor in the rewards. Because failing to plan is planning to fail. Number four, defend. Protect your purpose. Protect your passion. Protect your destiny. Protect your dream. Protect your win. Protect your Deuteronomy revelation. The same way that Moses taught the children of Israel to protect their progress. Through what? Rules. These are personal rules, standards, personal standards, priorities, personal priorities, and alarms. If this happens, that needs to be an alarm. Certain things need to be an alarm. Identify your enemies and threats, mitigate risk, manage mistakes, and maintain momentum. I think you can see why we could have done a whole 4 sessions just on this subject. All right, I'm moving swiftly. Your success routine. Your success routine. Now, let me say this succinctly. Where you are right now is the result of a direction you have been moving in over a period of time. Woo! Where you are right now, on any level, personal, professional, financial, emotional, wherever you are, it is the result of a direction you've been moving in over a period of time. The steps that you have taken in that direction are your habits. Your habits are the steps you are taking in a direction, which means that your physical health and fitness is reflecting your physical habits. Your domestic tranquility or lack thereof is reflecting domestic habits. Your finances are reflecting your financial habits. Your relationships, your relational currency or deficiency is reflecting your relational habits. So habits are the steps we take in a direction. Where we are right now where you are right now is the result of a direction you've been moving in through your habits over a period of time. So if you don't want to be where you are now and you want to be somewhere else, you have to change direction, which means to set new goals. But you have to move in that new direction by new habits, by creating new habits. And perhaps the most important of the habits are your success routine, your success routine. Everyone that is winning and making meaningful, measurable, consistent progress has a success routine, and they prioritize their success routine. And that routine keeps them anchored, keeps them sane, keeps them grounded as they navigate through various levels of success. So, daily, weekly, monthly, annually. And I'm just giving some examples here. Daily success habits include prayer, goal setting for the day. You're working from a list of tasks. Journaling, which is just reviewing the day and making a note of your highlights, your feelings, your challenges. Journaling, reviewing your day. Touching your immediate base. So touching base means this. There are some people in your life that should hear from you daily. They are typically called your family, but they may also include your top team in your staffing structure, your top clients, but there are people that you need to touch base with on a daily basis. And of course, we need to exercise. All of that becomes part of our daily success routine. But on a weekly basis, the habits may include weekly goal setting, a review of your journal for that week, engaging in your hobbies, family fun, church, cutting aside an evening to study, like a Tuesday night, for example, and maybe touching a wider base, because there's some people that you need to connect with at least once a week. And we've all got those daily people, but we also have those once a week people that we need to connect with. And if this becomes habitual for you, you're going to find that your relational currency is building, okay? So that you're not in the position of having not spoken to someone for 9 months, only to find out that you need a favor from them. You have no relational currency with them. But if you had actually made this touching base part of your success routine, you would be accumulating relational currency over the course of a year. Monthly, similar sorts of habits. I've thrown in here acts of kindness. Perhaps you want to go out, do a soup kitchen once a month. You want to go out and work at the shelter once a month. There's things that you're going to do once a month. And you're going to touch a wider base of people that people you connect with just once a month. Likewise, annually. All right, let's look at the time. Okay. Let's go. Emotional insulation. So you're not going to make it to the top without becoming the topic. All right. Everyone is not going to celebrate your success. Okay. Some people are going to hate, they're not going to celebrate. All right. Because there are some people who are envious and others who are jealous. And I put a distinction between envy and jealousy. Might not be an accurate one, but it works for me and I like it. When someone's jealous of you, it means that they want what you've got. But when they envy you, it means they don't believe you deserve what you have. And you become the object of jealousy and envy as you climb. There's a degree of competition in your professional progress. So you're going to be attacked. Very important that you insulate yourself emotionally against envy, jealousy, criticism, rejection, and all of the things that everyone experiences that we just don't even imagine that you'll get to a place where those things don't happen. Okay? Don't think, oh my gosh, if I was on Bishop's level, I wouldn't have criticism because everyone loves Bishop. That's nonsense. Okay? I guarantee you, for your favorite preachers in the world, that you can go to YouTube now and watch their channel for hours. They've got so much content, rich content. I guarantee you that there's equally as much content on YouTube of people hating them, criticizing them, calling them false prophets. So you have to develop a thick skin in order to become successful. And I call that emotional insulation. You want to because you can't practice emotional isolation and still win in life or in business. But you can practice emotional insulation so that you can keep going no matter what the temperature is outside. You have set the temperature inside. And this has to do with your overall emotional intelligence. And I've just put some keys here: self-awareness, emotional skill, personal anchors, your Mordecai covering, your personal prayer life, and feeding your values by watching and listening to things that reinforce your values. Again, this is going to be in your app, so you can screen munch this page and look into that. I think emotional intelligence is so critical, but it's critical because we need to practice emotional insulation, not emotional isolation. Okay? Emotional isolation is a product of fear. Emotional insulation is a product of faith. Woo! Then you want to save your energy. So I'm almost done. You want to save your energy. You got to choose your battles. Okay? You can't fight everyone that doesn't like you. You can't fight everyone who's envious of you or jealous of you. You can't fight everyone who criticizes you. You can't fight everyone that won't let you in. You can't go around fighting everyone, because even if you win, you lose. Why? You lose time, you lose energy, you lose focus. And so the devil specializes in smoke screens, distractions, scarecrows, things that don't matter, in order to break your focus and deplete your energy and waste your time. That's the devil's strategy. So we don't want to do that. We want to identify the real enemy. And if we're going to fight, we need to fight the real enemy. And the real enemy is within. It's not without. The real enemy that you need to be putting your energy into fighting is the ones in between your ears, the ones in yourself. First enemy is ignorance. Fight that enemy, because my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Second enemy is your ego. It's your need for affirmation, validation, and celebration. It's an enemy of your prophetic purpose. Why? Because you will do things to save face, to keep face, to create perceptions that are actually hurting your progress. And you're going to need a degree of humility because of the sacrifices you have to make in order to make progress. And so the ego becomes the enemy. The ego will make you invest time and money into looking successful, into likes and hearts. Whereas your essence is not about looking successful, it's about being successful. And some people have sacrificed being successful so they can look successful. And it's a matter of time before the look crumbles and before the tables turn. And number 3 is pride. Pride is self-worship, and it leads to a humiliating fall. Pride is when, instead of giving glory to God, instead of thanking your great team, thanking all of the people that made the dream work, and thanking your family and being grateful for others who made your life possible, you start crediting yourself with everything, and now you are headed for a humiliating fall. That was amazing.
Hey there, entrepreneurs. If you enjoy the teachings of Bishop Wayne Malcolm, I've got something amazing for you. Introducing the New Breed Community, an exclusive online platform for kingdom-conscious entrepreneurs, professionals, investors, and creators. This isn't just a community, it's a movement where we discuss and explore kingdom concepts. Here, kingdom-minded people connect, share, learn, and grow together. Inside, you'll find exclusive content from Bishop Wayne Malcolm, including special sessions just for members. And the best part? It's free to join. The New Breed Community sits on the Heartbeat platform, where Bishop Wayne Malcolm is excited to meet you online. Join us for weekly Q&A sessions with Bishop Wayne, and get exclusive insights that can transform your life. Love to read? Join our book club to feed your mind and spirit. Got a prayer request? Post it and let's lift each other up. Have a testimony? Share how God's goodness is shining in your life. We're more than just a community, we're a movement. Discover the powerful relationship between your profession and your purpose. Join us now on the Heartbeat platform. Connect with us and let's grow together. Bishop Wayne Malcolm and the New Breed Community are waiting for you. So what are you waiting for? Hit that join button and step into a world of connection and growth. A warm welcome awaits you. See you on the inside.
Hi there. Bishop Wayne Malcolm is known as the business bishop who works with kingdom entrepreneurs, professionals, influencers, and creators alike to increase their social influence and to monetize their personal brands. But why is that important? It's important because this is now the fastest way to wealth and the new path to prosperity. As you know, there currently exists a growing deficit of trust between buyers and sellers. We now prefer to buy from the people we know, like, and trust. Becoming known, liked, and trusted in your field will do more to increase your sales and take your business to the next level. This is now possible for anyone because digital territory is now affordable. Digital tools are now available. Digital sales are now universal. There are 4 steps to becoming known, liked, and trusted enough for people to choose you and your services over a cold, faceless, and impersonal brand. 1. Focus on your own field of fun, favor, and fortune. That is, your area of excellence, expertise, and personal experience. 2. Establish your visibility, credibility, and authority in that field. This means becoming a celebrity in your circle and a big name in your game. 3. Make your own market, create a unique niche, attract the right audience, and take over a digital territory. 4. Populate your field with products and services, offers and opportunities, events and experiences. Once you have a committed crowd and a faithful following, you will become a key person of influence and a trusted name in the game. This elite masterclass and its associated self-study resources will show you exactly how to perform each of these steps. The name Equity Secrets is a masterclass on the new way to wealth. A link for more details or to purchase your ticket is in the description below this video. Don't miss it for anything. Sign up today and you'll thank me later.